Hey guys. Whoops. Yeah, when I got the call from Margaret Flowers to come here this afternoon and be part of this, yeah, I thought to myself, when did I last go to a political meeting? Because meetings I'm not really very good at, by and large. I'm quite good at standing on stages and singing songs, and I find that much easier. I thought, well, when was the last time I went to a political meeting? And I figured out that it was in 1961 when I marched from Aldermaston to Trafalgar Square in London and listened to Bertrand Russell and Canon Collins speaking against nuclear arms. That is a battle that we're still fighting. Whether we'll come to a good or a bad conclusion to that story remains to be seen. Anyway, then a week ago, I stood on a small stage like this with John Pilger, the great journalist, and sang a song for Julian Assange, who is imprisoned in Belmarsh prison as we speak, waiting to complete his short sentence for a bail infringement before the appalling, apocryphal Boris Johnson can pack him off to America so that the American government can get rid of him finally once and for all, which is, I'm sure, which is what their intention is. So we all have to make as much noise as we possibly can in defense of Julian Assange, a great human being and a great journalist.
And don't forget Chelsea Manning!
I never forget Chelsea Manning. Chelsea Manning, as we know, is also incarcerated at the time being because she, quite rightly but very bravely, refused to give evidence to a closed grand jury, trying to manufacture the evidence that they need to incarcerate Julian Assange for the remainder of what will be a very short life, I have no doubt, if they get their way. So when I was coming down here, I thought I'm going to be standing in the street with peace activists from both the climate perspective and also from the anti-war perspective, and I'm very proud and honoured to be standing here with all of you today. And this piece of paper, Christ, I sound like Neville Chamberlain. I have in my hand a piece of paper signed by the German Chancellor. Anyway, we won't go down that road. This is a poem that I wrote in 2004, just before the re-election of the appalling G.W. Bush to your presidency. And it's called Why Cannot the Good Prevail? And I'm glad I brought this with me because I sense that it may mean quite a lot to quite a lot of you here, because you are the good, and why you are not prevailing is a very open and important question which I address here. We need a lot more, we need somehow to start communicating with the younger generation, who I see wandering down on the pavement looking slightly glazed and fiddling with their iPhones and thinking, what are those people doing over there, you know? And anyway, it doesn't matter. This is what I wrote in 2004. So when there's a reference somewhere to a Texan dynasty, you will know who it was. The ones who hold on to the dream, unflinching while the bullies pose and fiddle on the hill. Has commerce so reduced the free that blinded like a tot, contaminated by the dog shit in the grass, we blunder, slaves to humbug and this Texan dynasty? No. Beyond the grip of trade, the young strain beautiful and proud. The hoarfrost breath of new blood needs but nudges from the old forgotten guard to scale the moral high grounds in the clouds. And that's all I have to say. Thank you. And thank you all for coming here today. And the fight goes on.